Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to dive into the Singleton pattern. We'll explore what it is, how to use it, and when it's most useful. If you are looking to grasp the Singleton pattern in a simple and straightforward way, you are in the right spot. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Imagine you have a class called a logger. Its sole purpose is to log some text. Now picture this. If you had to create a new instance of the logger class every time you wanted to use it, you would run into some serious issues. You would be dealing with code duplication and consuming a lot of resources. That's where the Singleton pattern comes to the rescue. The Singleton pattern is a solution that allows us to create and use just one instance of a class throughout the entire application. With this pattern, you end up with a single instance of the class that can be accessed globally in your application. Now let's take a closer look at how we can implement this pattern for our logger class. So now we have our logger class. In this class, we are going to have only one method called log, which will print the message it takes as an argument. So we can say public void log string message, and it will simply print the message. Nothing complicated here. Now, according to the Singleton pattern, the first thing we have to do is to prevent this class from being instantiated from outside of this class. For that, we can create a private constructor. So we can say private logger, and that's it. Now that we don't have outside access for this class, we can create an instance inside of this class, but we want that instance to be created at the startup time of the application, only once. So for that reason, we should use static keyword. So we can say private static logger equals to new logger. Now we should also create a method called getInstance, which also should be static and will return the created instance. So we can say public static getInstance. It will return a logger type. You can say return logger. And this method getInstance will return the created instance. Now let's see the usage. If we go to the main class, we can say logger equals to logger.getInstance. And as you can see, we now have access to the method called log, and we can say Singleton is the best. And now if we run this application, we can see that it printed Singleton is the best. Now let's get back to the logger class. Okay. So one of the best practices we can implement is lazy loading. If you know that you may not need this class for a while after the startup of the application, you can lazy load the instance. So instead of creating the instance at the load time, we will check inside of this method if logger equals to null, which means it has not been instantiated. We will say logger equals to new logger. And at the end, return logger. And at this way, we will have the instance created when it's required, and it will not be created at the load time of the application. And finally, If you're dealing with multi-thread application which will use this class frequently, you can use synchronized keyword on the getInstance method. You can say public synchronize static logger getInstance. But keep in mind that it may decrease the application performance, so avoid using it as much as possible. Now that we also have this synchronized keyword, let's see the usage for one more time. And as you can see, there's no change in this code because the getInstance method will return the instance anyway. It will just create the instance only when it's required and only for once for the first time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in more content like this, please like and subscribe. See you in the next lesson.